All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the official LOTRO stream channel here on Twitch. And wow, I've still got a lot of extra life stuff up there. You know what? I think I'm going to rearrange a little bit here. Hang on just a second. We're going to move that. And I'm going to put my little server text back up where it goes on top. There we go, a little live tidying up for you there. And hopefully that is where I want it to be. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay. How's that look for everybody? So we are still doing extra life though. That's a Extra Life is, if you're not aware of what it is, it's a campaign to raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and mainly like in the US. And so there's usually like, well, it started off with like a big game day where people would stream for like 24 hours of video gaming. And it's kind of branched out to being like an all year round thing with lots of other events. But the game day itself was just this past weekend on Saturday. So we here on this channel did a whole day of streaming, actually the day before on Friday, and raised a bunch of money, as you can see up above there. Wow, there's the goal was set on Friday to be 25,000, and it hit 28,000. So that is pretty amazing. I had a goal of 750. We met that and exceeded that. So I've actually changed. That is one of our other teammates, Sans Arrêt, and they are actually the coordinator for making sure that LOTRO gets has people working on it to translate the million or something words in LOTRO into French and German, which are the two supported clients that are not English. So Sans Arrêt is also doing that, and I think this is their first year with Extra Life. They did a stream on Friday. It was their first time ever streaming, so that was pretty exciting. Before and myself are very much into languages and the tech behind things and all of that, so we were very keen to watch their stream on Friday. So I'm hoping that they'll come back and do more streams, because that would be pretty awesome. So yes, so there's a link in the chat if you feel the desire to donate to Extra Life and you want to help Sans Arrêt get their goal. I didn't tell them that I'm putting them up on my stream, so it'd be a fun little surprise to have them reach their goal today. So hello to the folks there in chat, Gracie Banks and Limiel. Hi, good to see you there. So welcome to the chat. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, if you donate through any Extra Life stuff, like just let Cord know. There's a link in the chat, a survey that you do, and you get some goodies. So make sure you fill in that survey and let Cord know. There's things like in-game titles, pets, mounts, and housing items. I think that covers it. I don't think there's any emotes, but there's a bunch of pets and stuff. It's a big list, actually. And it's generally things that were around in the past for some reason or another and are no longer, in circulation. So they were able to, so Cord's able to like snag them and make them available during these special things. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I just realized so I keep switching back and forth between windowed mode and full window in the game, because I've got two monitors, and so I move it around, or so I've just gone back to full screen windowed, which I like because it takes up the whole screen, and I like being able to see. In fact, I would love to have like giant monitors and have like big hobbits running around and stuff. It'd be funny. But yeah, so I was on windowed, which means I can like move it around and resize it and all of that. But I like full screen better, so we're gonna do that for the stream. All right, so there is our handy. Let's see, wave, teammate there, Affodil. Hi. And so I just realized, though, that Wenda So normally I have my little VIP subscriber benefits. I have a little bauble that I keep on my bar. It's not there, so it must be time to talk to Wenda. So Wenda Cranesbill is an NPC, and she has a VIP rewards bundle that she can give you. You can talk to her once a day, but the items in the bundle, the 2 items, will last for 2 weeks. It was initially 2 days, but they extended it to 2 weeks, which is fantastic. Such an amazing quality of life thing. So this is only available to VIP, and I think lifetime subscribers get it too. So if you're not VIP, this is something you won't see. So if you're not VIP, this is something cool that I can show you. That's a neat thing that I really enjoy. So she has kind of like a little bestowal dialogue, and you accept her quest, and then basically you just immediately turn around and hand it back into her. And I'm going to get the subscriber town services. Here, I can put this up. And a subscriber's jug. So there they are. They're in my inventory now. So the jug, I go ahead and consume it now. Now it stays in my inventory for like 6 hours. So if I want to like re-up it and add, move that time forward, I can do that. But basically, I now have an effect on me over here, the subscriber buffs effect. So it says it accelerates my crafting time, and it prevents item wear from combat crafting and defeat. So that's really nice. I haven't had to pay a repair bill in quite a while. The other thing, yeah, I know I keep looking over there because the cat's wandering around. We have 2 cats. One of them, the Kato, she's been sleeping on my lap off and on all day long. I think it's because it's getting cooler, and so she's like, warmth, I must have it. So, but she's currently sleeping on my desk. I put a little bed on my desk for her. And the other one is skittering around and playing with something over there. Oh my goodness.
Plastic ring.
Oh, it's a plastic ring from the milk jug. All right, I'll turn that just a little bit, just in case he comes into frame. He's cracking me up. Okay, so I'm going to grab my little Wenda bauble, though, and I will unlock my quick slot bars, and I'm going to drop this down here, and then I'm going to lock it. Oh, we're not doing any giveaways at the moment, are we? No, we're not doing any giveaways today. We did do, oh my gosh, it was like non-stop giveaways on Friday during the big stream. That was really cool. That was really cool. But I hope you stick around, even if there's no giveaways. Although I am going to, we did have a t-shirt that we gave away on Friday. So the SSG folks, the people who create Lord of the Rings Online, and the and DDO, Dungeons and Dragons Online. I'm going to turn that back a little bit. And they were in Germany to for Gamescom, which was and DevCom, I think too, DevCon, pair of video gaming focused conventions, one focusing on the developers and then one focused on the consumers. And so they did like a meet and greet, and we were able to meet them, and they brought these t-shirts which have Before the Shadow on them, the things that are the expansion that's coming out. So we got 3 extra shirts from them to give away. So we've already sent away 2 of them, so we have 1 more shirt to give away, and I think we'll probably do it on next week's stream because that is the day that it comes out. So I think we'll give away the shirt during the stream next week while we're checking out some of the Before the Shadow stuff. So yes, magic plastic rings from milk jugs are magical toys for cats. No kidding, it's insane because these 2, I mean, they're not like kittens, they're 6 and 8 years old. We did get them this year, so we have not ever experienced them as kittens. So we generally see them kind of just, wandering around doing their thing, and they jump and they play and they're cute together. But man, oh man, when they get those milk rings, like it's like they're kittens, and it's hilarious. It's really fun to watch. Oh, just so you know, so the subscriber town services that I've got, which you can see it expires in 13 days and 23 hours, so the 2 weeks. You click on it and it gives you this really super awesome menu. So I can go into the shop, and sell things off. I can get into my vault. I can get into my shared storage and my wardrobe. So I can get into all 3 of those from anywhere as long as I have this with me. And then I can open Auction House and interact with that. And I can do the legendary item forge, which you don't need to do very often because it's only every 5 levels. But, you know, if that was needed, then it's pretty handy. It's right there. Okay, so the other thing I haven't done, I'll be back, Affodil, is I haven't opened up these ingredient crates today. So I'm going to do that before we get going. These are, these give me universal crafting ingredients. So if you go into your crafting panel and you're just like looking at anything, you'll notice that it costs, you know, this and that. Okay, sure. But there's a checkbox here to use universal ingredients. So I could check that and it's going to use the universal ingredients, those things I just picked up. And so you can see in this case, it wants two universal ingredients, is that number on the bottom there. 2 packs to make that thing that I was just looking at, this Scout's boots. Now I pick this up frequently, so I have 16,000 universal ingredient packs. I try not to, you know, skimp on that. So you can make, yeah, you can make stuff with those universal ingredient packs. Now, anything you make with them, and it says this in bright orange here, items crafted with those ingredient packs will be bound to your account upon creation. So I can only trade those things to my other characters on the server. So if you're making something for somebody else, definitely don't use ingredient packs because you won't be able to give it to them. The other thing is, if you make it normal, you'll see that it's, okay, that's a terrible example. Wait, no, that's a good example. It is 5 silver and 70 copper if you sell it down the road. If you make it with the universal ingredients, I wonder if it'll show me. It's worth, no, it doesn't show you. It's only worth 1 copper. So like if one time I was making a bunch of things and then selling them just because I needed some money for my character because it was really early on. And if you are using the universal packs, it's 1 copper per thing. So you're not going to make a lot of money off of those. Which is probably why they set it up like that. So you don't just like craft a ton of stuff and use that as a huge money maker. With those free packs that we have. So, oh, and there's 2 boxes there. One of them gives you 3 ingredient packs, and that's the regular one. And then the other one you can kind of see in the background there is the premium ingredient crate, and that one gives you 6. But the premium one you can only open if you are a subscriber, so a VIP or a lifetime or whatever. So, yeah. So there we go. All right, housekeeping done. So, yeah, I was thinking today, okay, so before the shadow was supposed to come out, well, they had originally scheduled it for a different day, and then they scheduled it for today, and then I think they had it for like the 9th, and then they were like, no, we could do it on the 8th, but now they're like, we need an extra week. Turns out that moving offices can really change up your schedule. So it'll be coming out a week from today. So we have a week to kind of like chill out and do something else. So I was thinking we would do some missions and some skirmishes today. So which mission do we want to do? I'm in blue line at the moment. I might leave it. I usually run around in red line, so that's why I'm like debating here. And oh, I should check which weapons I have on. I have my red line weapons. So I went ahead, excuse me, I ended up with too much ancient script, and I think I'm actually full again because I opened something by mistake. Yeah, I'm at max with ancient script. So what I did the last time I was overwhelmed with ancient script is I went and I created, because I use red line usually with my character, so that would be my number 1. But then I set up as number 2 as the blue line. And so I went ahead and I went and bought and then filled in a set of legendary items that were more tailored toward that blue line. So, yeah, if I think ahead, you know, it's kind of cool. I can just swap out the weapons. And I just keep them in my vault, which, because I have this thing with me, I can just grab them anytime. Well, anytime I'm not in combat. Oh, I think I have them. Do I have them here? Where did I put? Oh, dear. Where did I put it? Oh, yeah, red, blue allies. That's what I did. So I have a Hunter's Bow of Legends there, and a Hunter's Dagger of Legends. I should rename them. And then my default, because I didn't think about the fact that I was going to have 2 sets, is this Shire Sword and Shire Bow. So if it's my Shire set, that's my red set. And if it's the Hunter's set, it's the Hunter's Legends set, then it's the blue set. So, well, I've got it set for each now. Yeah, and Affodil actually did that first, because Affodil is a minstrel. And so, what do you have for Affodil? You've got, well, it must be, you've got a healing set and a DPS set. Yeah, so it's not like strictly line by line like it is for me, because I'm not sure what line she runs in for those difference. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so where are all the missions in this world now? Because they keep adding them. So there's the Wildwood missions. There's the Elladan and Elrohir, which I think are the ones that I want to do first, and that's out of Rivendell. There's the all the dwarfy stuff, which, hey, you know, if you have bought which expansion is it? It's War of the Three Peaks. Oh, excuse me, I don't know where that came from. So if you have the War of the Three Peaks expansion that comes with the teleport item, that's this table, and that you just click on it and it takes you to the War of the Three Peaks war room. So that's a nice little quick teleport. You don't have to go find one of those stable masters. It's just like, shoom. Oh, hey, Arthur, good to see you. Okay, so we've got Karum Obnar, that's dwarfy. Elder Slade. Is that another dwarfy one? I don't know which Elder Slade is dwarfy. Okay, Wildwood, which is cool. I like Wildwood one. Gundabad, more dwarfy. We have 3 dwarf ones. And 2 flavors of Further Adventures. Oh, yeah, the Further Adventures. I guess that's what I was thinking of. Because, yeah, okay, so there's the Bilbo Baggins, and then there's Elrohir and Elladan, which I think that's the one I want to start with. So let's go do some Further Adventures. So let me take us to Rivendell. Rivendell, Del. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah. So a cool thing they started doing was creating these like Further Adventures, which allows you to kind of have like a little mini chapter book, basically, is how I would think of it, with a character or known, character or characters that are known to you in this universe. And yeah, it's just some little side storyline, but I like it. I think it's a clever way to do it. And then they have like tokens that you get for completing the missions, and then you can spend those tokens with the barterer of that style. So I think we have to go in for this one. We have to go inside and talk to Elrond first, because that's what kicks it off and gets us started on that quest line. Excuse me. And we did this once before, but it takes me a minute sometimes to remember what we're doing. So, hello. We just passed by a tall person. All right. Big Daddy Elrond. Of course, just as I get started on the stream, I get a little tickle in my throat. Okay, yeah, so see how he has like a, well, neat. How he's got a ring over his head with like a map coming through it. So that's like your mission's like clue. All right, so this further adventure begins on October 3018, before Book 4, Chapter 1, Where's the Horse and the Rider? So in LOTRO, there's an epic storyline, like a book that they have written, the LOTRO book, as it were, and it takes you as a character in a parallel line to the Fellowship of the Rings, and the whole Lord of the Rings sequence, right? So there's that part where the Nazgul are chasing down the hobbits, and after Frodo's been stabbed, and they're just trying to make it to, across the river and get their way over to Rivendell. And so then, they get the Nazgul into the water, and elf magic happens, and the river washes the Nazgul away. Now, of course, they can't be killed in that way, but they've disappeared. So at this part in the storyline, we know that they've been washed away, but we don't know like, where are they? Like, are they hiding behind a tree and they're going to jump out at us? Or, like, did they have to, were they washed away hard enough that they had to, like, go and reconstitute themselves, basically? Like, what, you know, what's the scoop here? So we're kind of in that space of doing some investigation, so investigative work. Okay, so he says that I have an undertaking I believe you would be suited for. Servants of the enemy, under the guise of riders in black, recently tried to cross the Brunnen. The river's waters swept them away at my command. Perhaps they no longer threaten Imladris, but we cannot be certain. Scouts have been sent out to determine whether the Black Riders truly fell at the ford. My sons will soon set out to do the same, but I have also entrusted them with an errand of their own. I would ask that you travel with them to Lothlorien to meet with their grandmother, Lady Galadriel. Though I cannot fully reveal the purpose of their errand, I trust that the three of you will keep each other safe. All right, so, or four in this case, because there's two of us and two of them. So, Elladan waits for you outside. May your search bear fruit. All right, so we will accept that. So, as he said, we are looking for Elladan, who is outside the gate, outside the library. I did Ren Fair like years ago, and at Colorado, well, maybe it was in Ohio. Anyway, after at the end of the day, when you're trying to get like all the patrons to leave, there was often, you know, there's something really exciting happening, and then everybody yells outside the gate to try and scooch those patrons on out. All right, so here we go. We've got a little ring with a little map, and it's also Elladan. He says, "Hail, Elrohir has gone ahead to search the Brunnen, but he wished to pass on his greetings as well. We're to travel south to Eregion and then through the Redhorn Pass into Lothlorien. Make any preparations you require. We have a long trek ahead of us." Okay. Are we eating foods? I can't remember if this is dangerous or not. Some of the bingo missions are more dangerous than others. You know, some of them you're just talking.
Missions are on level.
But it's just been I've been reminded that missions are on level. So there we go. Okay, the Further Adventures, Chapter 1. He says, "I'm sure we've kept Elrohir waiting long enough." So each one of these missions, or these Further Adventures, well, missions in general, I think too, have a twist. So this one is sacrificial. So at low health, monsters in this mission will attempt to end their own lives to damage and apply a fear effect to those nearby. So that's something we, you know, need to keep an eye on during the mission. Make sure we don't get hit by that. All right, talk to Elladan. All right, where are you at, boy? I suppose he's older than me. Where are you, sir? All right, he says, "Other scouts already told me about the insects swarming the Brunnen, but I've never seen such an infestation before. Elrohir and I agreed to see how many we could each defeat before meeting downstream. Since he's already gotten a head start, perhaps we could work together. Surely that doesn't count as cheating." These two, they have a competitive spirit, is what, I don't know, like, there's only so much about them in the lore, and I forget which is which, but one of them definitely is a bit more outgoing than the other. And so you have to kind of extrapolate a little bit about, you know, the twins, in terms of their personalities, you know, what kinds of things would they say, how would they speak, you know, all that. So Lotro has definitely gone with a competitive spirit between the two, but it's a very friendly competition in general. Oh, I'm in a box. Move out of that. All right, cool. All right, so here we are at the Ford of Brunnen. Are those horses? Well, then let's add a few more of those pests to our count. Indeed. So these are the fell horses, I guess, that the Nazgul were riding. Now, what have we here? He says, it seems the swarm found the Black Riders' mounts. I count only 3 steeds, however. The river may have carried the rest further. Go find Elrohir in the fens and see if he requires aid. I shall stay behind to make sure the riders did not escape into the woods. Oh, and let him know how many insects we defeated. I'm sure he was no match for us. So, Goofy is going to stand out there on the river and make sure that there's nobody there, which I think is just all by his little lonesome. I'm like, okay. I'm going to go check the thickets and see if there's any bad guys here waiting for me. Because, you know, splitting the party is always a great idea. But they seem to know their way around the forest, so it's probably okay. Well, we're definitely finding stuff down here. Oh, there we go again. So I think he's down here because he's in the fens. And these are fens like... It's funny that there's 3 dwarf ones. I only remembered there being... Oh, one of them has like 2 parts or something, doesn't it? There's 2 different sides of the dwarfy stuff.
A lot of dwarf content for last few years.
That's true. There was a lot of dwarf content the last couple years, so yeah, that kind of makes sense that we've got a lot of dwarf stuff. Okay, where is that guy? Oh, there he is. He says, come, let us clear this place of vermin. So, those of you watching may notice there's a red box that forms around me from time to time. That is, oh, and there's one around Affodil, or that Affodil triggered. So we are playing on Treebeard, which is a legendary server. And it's a progression server, for one thing. So we don't have, like, all of the content in the whole world all, like, at the very first. Here, I'll come back to that thought in a minute. All right, so Elladan convinced you to help him with our little competition, didn't he? I kept track at first, but, and he gestures to the nearby horse corpses with a sigh. What I found, or rather what I didn't find, troubled me. 3 horses upstream, 5 here, that makes 8 of the 9 mounts accounted for. I scoured every part of the woods for the riders, but to no avail. I mean, that's probably good. I don't know if you'd want to come face to face with one. If any of them linger in the troll shaws, they have made themselves scarce. Hold on, what's that in the water? Is that a cloak? So we see we've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horses there. And a black cloak. Let's take a look. The black cloak is tattered and marred by long slashes. I could find nothing of note. I hope your search fared better. We found this black cloak, but nothing more. Then I suppose that must be the only trace left of the riders themselves. He's sad about it. He's like, ugh. My hope is that they have fled back to their master, though that is mere speculation. The answers escape us for now. Okay, so we have a mission reward box that has popped up, so we're going to open that up, get some goodies, get some tokens, and we're going to talk to Elladan. He says there's nothing else that can be done here. We should continue moving. So we're going to travel and continue moving. And he takes us to Candleth, which was nearby. So, chapter 2. Oh, sorry, first we finished chapter 1. So there's kind of like a wrap-up. So he says, I have faith that the waters of the Brunnen dealt the riders a devastating blow. However, the less certain we are of the riders' fates, the more worried my heart grows. Tracking the movements of the enemy is of utmost importance for our errand. After everything else that's happened, I find our lack of information unsettling. So we're going to get some tokens of further adventure and some legendary item experience, which applies to your legendary item track. Legendary item experience track. LIXP. All right, chapter 2. He says, our many questions may be answered soon. I spied one of the great eagles flying southeast. Perhaps they bear fresh news. We shall set out for Oregon once you are ready. Okay, so we're going to jump into chapter 2 here. So, so the progression server, so when it first started almost a year and a half ago, we watch the skies, I will do the same. Oh, and our twist here is crushing. So some monsters in this mission will attempt a crushing attack, wounding and stunning anyone hit. If you want to grab that, I can pause.
I'm just going to buy it.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, so we're going to go talk to Elrohir. So we didn't start with everything when the server started. So we started up to everything through level 50. So everything through, oh, I forgot to make my map. Everything through Shadows of Angmar, which is Eriador, basically. So we have all of this area to play in at the very beginning. And then we got the 6 months after the server had been open, we got the next expansion, which took us into Moria, Mines of Moria. And that also takes us into Lothlorien. So over, here we go. So we also got, access to Lothlorien as well. So we did stuff in those 2 areas. And then 6 months later, they gave us access into Merkwood and Siege of Merkwood. So we've been running around there. And also, what's the other one? The one we've been running around in. Enidwaith. I do this every time. The words escape me. Here we go. So we are down here in Enidwaith. And popping around here, gone up to talk to Nar a few times, up on Nar's Peak, and all of that. So we're slowly progressing. So that's one feature of this server. Another feature of this server is that we are getting less experience for all the things that give you experience. So, these missions, quests, monster kills, all of that, usually you get whatever it is, 100% of that experience. We're getting 40% of that experience. So, so that's kind of fun because it really gives us the chance to just spend a lot of time, like kind of indulging in, wandering around, doing every single quest you can find. And even still, we were still over leveling. So we did get the turtle stones, but right now we're at level cap, which is 65. And so we don't need to wear turtle stones because we're not getting any experience because we're at level cap, like our characters are. So no big deal there. Okay. And then, so the other thing is I was going to say is, a third feature of this server and Shadowfax is there's a difficulty adjustment that you can make. And so we are, you talk to a character and you pick up the quest and then you just turn it right back into them. So it's kind of like talking to Wenda. And we have chosen the highest grouping, which is deadly. And we're playing at deadly plus 0. So we're the lowest of that top tier grouping. And one of the things that happens is you get the eye of Sauron upon you. The enemies are kind of keeping an eye on you a little closer. And so you'll end up with a little box around you and then a big red box. And if you are still in that red box when the timer goes off, it kind of starts a timer and it's pretty fast. So if you're still in that area when that timer goes off, well, anybody who's in that area who's playing on deadly level of any sort will get hit by an area effect. So that's why you'll see that, like we mentioned, hey, I'm in a box. So you gotta run out of the box if you don't want to get hit. Now you can, just take the hit. Like you can just stand there and take it. It does about a quarter of your health. But you gotta be careful because if you've got some health issues already, it can really cause you some problems. So you gotta be careful. All right, so he says, I'm certain the eagle noticed our presence and flew here, but I don't see him. Elrohir surveys the area outside the ruins and frowns. He says, all right, Elladan, we'll take a look around. He says, I shall stay here, just in case. Be careful. Don't worry, we'll be back soon. Why would the eagle ignore us? Could I have been mistaken about his location? Wait, up ahead. Is that a dead boar? Indeed. And take a look at these footprints. We have some large footprints. That's interesting. B4 points out that we've been doing well on Deadly plus 0 and tempted to bump it up. It's crossed my mind, but I was like, I'm kind of enjoying just, because there's 2 of us and that makes it go a lot easier. When I'm playing by myself, Deadly 0 is, it's not as much of a walk in the park.
Try bumping it up between missions.
All right, so he says, whatever killed these boars was an even match in size for our friend. the eagle. And he holds up a feather that is certainly too large for any normal bird. It seems I wasn't wrong about his location. After all, he must have left the area once he realized he had intruded on someone's territory. Of course, I doubt that creature, whatever it is, was an even match in power. After all, the eagles are more than capable folk. But this creature may be dangerous to anyone traveling through this area, and that does not bode well for our errand. Let's track it down. All right, so we're going to go follow the footprints. Oh, can you respond to Kin Chat? Awesome, thank you. Oh, he says, watch out. We have fire whelplings, little mini dragons, and they are definitely affecting my health. Yeah, let's get rid of these guys. Okay, there we go. Oh, there's another one around the corner, though. More dead boars. Oops. I guess I'll have to go around the tree this way. I was trying to sneak up on it. Or on them. The little fire dragons. Didn't work. My sneaky was not so good. This is why I don't play a burglar. I'm not good at the sneaky. So, as B4 points out, we can go and change the difficulty. Now, because we're at deadly difficulty, there's a deed that you complete once you're at level 50, which we did complete that, and then again at level 130, so it's kind of a ways. So we have a while to wait. And if you ever drop below deadly difficulty, then you lose the deed. You are no longer able to complete it, which would be sad, because we've, had this for a while. Aha, these drakes didn't match up with the footprints. Our work here isn't done yet. Okay. Well, we'll keep going. Aha, he says. This must be the drake we're looking for. A matron, no less. I'll follow your lead. Notice we got... nobody's red. We're going to have to engage. Alright, he's running in. Fools rush in. That's okay. Oh, why did I not get the thing? There we go. I was trying to get the little guys. I'll shoot at the big one too, I guess. There we go. Alright, he says, well fought. So when we're at the end of the mission, there should be a mission box for us. But we're not there. Okay, so that Drake matron commanded a most fearsome brood. It'll be safer here now, though I fear that will change. We ought to head back to Pembar. Elladan must be wondering where we are. So, we're going to talk to Gwahir, it says. Gwahir. Hello, the Windlord. He says, greetings. You have my thanks for defeating the Drakes. I had no desire to involve myself with them, seeing as how they do not threaten me or my kin, but I do not care for my presence. At least I may now deliver my message more easily. We have not discovered any sign of the Black Riders, nor any other tidings of the enemy's servants. However, wolves gather along the banks of the Anduin in great numbers. What this indicates, I cannot say I know. All right. So, he says, even if your people haven't seen the riders, they must have disappeared from the north. They might also be fooling us. I am not as convinced. Although I wonder why the wolves near the Anduin have grown bolder. Thanks, Gwahir. Your efforts are much appreciated. Then I shall take my leave. Good fortune on your travels. And there we are at the end of our mission. There's a reward box, so we'll take a look at that. All right, got some tokens. And he says, all right, we should rest here and gather our strength before continuing. We have yet to embark on the most difficult part of our journey. Okay, let's do. All right, so we're chilling out here in the High Holland.
Want to go above with your difficulty?
Maybe after the missions.
No, just do it during the missions.
I don't want to do it in the middle, because how do we get back here?
You can hunt or travel, and then we'll just ride our horses. We're at a stokemaster.
So B4 is trying to talk me into leaving these missions and going and changing our difficulty and then coming back in. I haven't tried leaving and coming back in the middle of the mission set.
Right now.
Sure, that's true.
We could be dead in a complete lobby and back before you know.
Oh no, let's go to Bree. He's at the Prancing Pony.
Oh, okay.
That's probably in fact, Lalia's Market makes the most sense.
Sure.
All right. I'm going to do my Lalia's Market. Yeah. So if you don't know, there's a travel skill you can buy that takes you to Lalia's Market in Bree, which is really convenient because it's right by the boar statue, the boar fountain. And also, though, if you come out the other end, it's really close to the prancing pony. So find this a very handy travel. It only costs 3 mithril coins. And you can buy like 5 mithril coins for 50 LOTRO points. So if you've done like 5 of the Slayer deeds, for example, like run around the Shire or something, then you'll have 50 LOTRO points, and then you can buy that. So, all right. So you want to switch to deadly.
I've got +6.
You at +6?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? He says, because it's deadly. I'll do deadly +3, and we'll see how that goes. All right. So this is what happens when you talk to this guy and you pick one of the quests. And he says, "Greetings, traveler. I watch those who stride the roads of Middle-earth in search of challenge and adventure, and you seem just the sort. Indeed, there are some who prefer even greater challenges to overcome, and I can assist you with this. Should you accept my boon, you will find your enemies on the roads and fields of Middle-earth becoming stronger and more dangerous in your quest for glory. Is this what you desire?" So, completing this quest will make the game significantly more difficult. Completing this quest before level 11 will begin deeds that can be completed by achieving levels 50 and 100 without deactivating it. Okay, so fine. So we'll go ahead and I will accept this idea, but then you have to actually turn it back into him for it to take effect. So he says, "Are you certain you wish to step foot upon this path? 'Tis understandable if you are wary. Such harsh endeavors are surely not for everyone." Yes, yes. Okay, so it's going to increase the difficulty of enemies on landscape and in missions. Doesn't apply to skirmishes. So, just FYI. All right, we'll finish that now. All right, your road ahead has become more dangerous. Bum, bum, bum. Completed. Difficulty 6. Level deadly +3. They had to go in and number them because here, see how they have like difficulty 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Because they don't sort because alphabetically, so they just numbered them to make it work. And I'm like, fine with me. So that's why it had, 6 written on there. Okay, so where are we going? You kept track, right? Acada Region? All right. Whatever Icad I have.
Yeah,
Let's see, that's Angmar. Icad Dunan, that's the one I have. Oh, because that's the one right by the get into Moria. Yeah, that's it. Rebel. Okay, and then was it Acada Region? Okay, swift travel, sweet. See, there's the way to get into Moria. Hello, goodbye, Moria. We'll see you later. Well, maybe not, because we've already done Moria. In fact, I think we've done everything in Moria. Okay, so we're back. Oh, I did see one of the twins standing there. Okay, coolio. That worked out. Hello, Elladan. So that's interesting because I was curious about this. So normally, all the other missions, you basically like talk to the person, they send you off to the mission, you come back, and the person that you got the quest from and can pick up the next one from is in the same place. Like, they don't move around. So the last time we did this, it was in the back of my mind that I was like, well, this is taking us from one place to another place to another place. And thankfully, they're just dropping us there. Like, we don't have to go out in the world and find them, which is nice. But it did make me wonder, like, what happens when, like if you do 1 or 2 or whatever, like, do you come back and they're still there? Which then makes me wonder, because we've done all of them before. Okay, so the question I'm having here is that, like, say, take the Further Adventures of Bilbo Baggins. There's like 10 chapters. And once you've done all 10 chapters, you can go back and pick and choose. So I might be like, in the future, like another day, I'm like, okay, hey, I just want to do chapter 5. And so I run in, I do chapter 5. And I'm like, oh, that was cool. Hey, you know what? I'm going to do chapter 8. And I go into chapter 8. But the guy is still standing in the same place to take the things from. So if I wanted to do that with like Elladan and Elrohir, like, is he standing here all the time waiting to give me, you know, number 3? I got to finish number 2 first. Hang on. He says, okay, I'm sorry I didn't thank you earlier for helping Elrohir at Pembar. I needed time to gather my thoughts. When the 2 of you left, I found myself pacing around out of nervousness, and perhaps it's the gravity of the errand we've been entrusted with, or does my worry stem from something else that's happening? The forces at play have long been set in motion. There is much we don't have much control over, but I tell myself we are doing what we can. I have to believe that. All right, so we finished that. So yeah, so my question is he standing around here all the time, you know, waiting to give us chapter 3, or does he only show up because we've just done chapter 2? My guess is that maybe he's here all the time now. So we may have to check at some point. I'd be curious. All right. So chapter 3. Excuse me. He says, it is best not to tarry here any longer. The Redhorn Pass can be treacherous during the warmest of months, and we are fast approaching winter. We're going to take the Redhorn Pass. Be on the lookout for orcs, most of all. They plague the mountain and have waylaid many an unfortunate traveler. Okay, so we're going to try and go up the Redhorn Pass. Yep. Once you're ready, we shall depart. And the twist in this one is persistent cold. So some monsters in this mission will apply a persistent cold debuff that can only be removed at bonfires found in the mission. All right, let's give it a go. And we're going to food back up because my stuff's run out. Sorry, lots of chatter in Kin and World about crafting. Crafting's cool stuff. All right, he says, neither Elrohir nor I enjoy the idea of taking the pass, but I confess that orcs are not the sole reason. Many years ago, our mother traveled through here to visit our grandparents in Lorien. She never made it to her destination. Orcs captured her. When we realized she had disappeared, my brother and I set out to find her. After weeks of searching, we found her alive, but... And his voice trails off as he turns away. We must keep each other safe. We must. Yeah, apparently she was never quite the same after that and decided to leave and went to the Undying Lands. So they haven't seen their mother in quite some time. All right, he says, let's go. Okay, here we go. ... Although with the quotes around it, it looks like a little face. My thoughts keep returning to Mother. Of course they do. Mine too. I miss her. ... Or weird face. Looks like a computer face. One step at a time. We'll make it out of the storm. All right, we have some potential enemies up ahead here. Careful. Look up ahead. Ready your weapons. Okay. Weapons are ready, yo. Alright, well, so far so good, although I think we're losing more health than we normally do. They probably hit harder. I think that's part of the dealio. Let's see, where's my little bubble? Oh, it doesn't say. Yeah, there's something about how, like, the monsters hit harder on the higher level difficulties. But I don't know. I thought there was some information about that. Maybe they were talked about it in streams and stuff when it was coming out. The wiki might have information. That's true. I mean, it depends on, yeah, if it's actually out there, if it was just talked about. Let's see. Oh. So, yes, Little Red Hood is playing on Treebeard. Find out more about the LOTRO legendary servers and landscape difficulty at link. Yep, and you can play all sorts of various difficulties. It's really, yeah, it changes things up. It's so funny. Every once in a while, I'll go back and be playing on like one of the regular servers for a little bit, and I'm like, wow, this is like so easy. Because I get used to the difficulty addition here. That's interesting. I may have to consider doing like the blue line. I may have to consider going into blue line though if we keep doing this because there's a self heal in blue line, which is really nice. Are you gonna heal me the rest of that, or not worry about it? I have food. Yeah, it's been working on it slowly.
I'll take out that effect.
Okay, thanks. Oh, I wonder if that was an effect I could have taken off. My hunter cleanse thing. Alright, so here we are, running through the mountains. Good thing I'm wearing a hat, huh? See, I'm all bundled up for the winter there. So. Oh, hey, there's bad guys. Guess I gotta pay attention. Whoopsie. Do not put auto run on. Just about to run myself off the mountain. Oopsie, let's not do that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She's defeated. Uh-oh. I'm really low. Oh, dear. Nope, I'm down. Alright, let's retreat and start that again. Wait, are they still up there? Oh, they're still up there without us. Well, that'll be interesting. Yeah. Okay. I did two. I'll do the third one after we get up there. And keep him from perishing. Yeah. You think he'll be fine? I see he's losing a little bit of power, but yeah, his morale's still looking good. Luckily, we can see where how he's doing there. So, just a reminder that I've still got the extra life widgets going over there. So, if you want to make a donation to the LOTRO's Extra Life campaign, or SSG's Extra Life campaign, you absolutely can do that. There's a link there, and excuse me, and then excuse me, goodness. There's some goodies that you can get. There's what's called a community loot list that Cord puts together. That's the community manager. And all you have to do is then fill out that survey. There's a link to a survey there. And fill that out and let Cord know what goodies you want. So it's a neat little perk for donating to a good cause, because it's really about helping out kids and families who are dealing with having their children in hospitals. But it's nice that SSG is able to give us like some little goodies for doing so. All right, Elladan says, Elrohir, excuse me, his voice is frantic and does not carry past the thick curtain of whirling snow. All right, sorry about that. He says, he must have thought we'd be following close behind. We must find him quickly. Okay, so we're going to follow Elladan. Curse this snow. Elrohir, Elrohir, come back. ... It's like a little computer face is what it makes me think of. I can only hope he continued up the pass. To these guys. Oh, there's a box. So now I'm wondering if the boxes do more than just a third or a quarter of your health. Given that you were on like super duper deadly, whatever.
I'll try to get caught in one at some point.
Maybe make sure you're at full health.
Maybe you should get caught in one. I can res you.
Okay. I will work on getting caught in one at some point, because if it takes me out, yes, Affodil can res me, whereas I cannot res Affodil. That's true. Alright, I'm in a box. I was actually frozen from right there. It's still about a quarter, maybe a third. So roughly the same amount, I think. Thank you. So I'm not sure what that was or who. We saw a black cloaked person, I think. Oh no, behind us. It's an ambush. Alright, I'm still going to step out because I'm at half health. Third health. I'm almost down. In case that's of interest to the healer. Alright, I guess I'll go on self-heal too. Thank you. Yeah, it's worth, trying something different. See, there we go. There's a mysterious figure. I guess they're not in black. There was kind of a grayish look. He said, "Did you see that? Orcs haven't attacked us yet. This can't be their doing, can it? No, it must be something else. What could be the purpose of all this trickery? Oh. Trickery and tomfoolery and all the shenanigans. Cool. Well, I guess the cat got tired of the milk ring. I don't hear him batting it around. He's probably taking a nap. Let's see, we have a snow beast corpse up here. Wow. What's going on that? All right. Well, let's investigate. Let's talk to the corpse. The body is still warm to the touch. Ugh. Let's check the blood. There's no telling whose blood spilled here. He says, "No, that can't be Elrohir's blood. I don't believe it. He must be close. Let's hurry." Okay. Let's keep looking for him. Oh, we got some more stuff to battle our way through. Oops. Get out of here. Nope, I still got hit. Even though I was outside the box when it went off, I was still close, and I was still basically in it as far as the game was concerned. So I took damage. All right. Rawr. Do my little hunter screams and whatnot. Shoot lots of things. Yes. Nice. All right, so we're still heading up Redhorn Pass. So let's see, are we on the map? We're not on the map. That's all right. Sometimes the missions are outside the map and skirmishes and that sort of thing. He says, "I just want to find my brother." Indeed. This is why you don't split the party. Silly people. Oops, I ran into it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And... oh, I got down to 216 health. Well, you wanted more of a challenge, so there we go. I did. Yay, I'm back up to full. Thank you for the heals. Are you behind?
I'm curious if that fire would dispel my coldness.
Oh, it did say something about these fires. Or, yeah, fires on the mountain are supposed to help. Yeah, huddling close to the fire, you feel the cold slowly dissipate from your body. Okay. Well, that's neat. Do I still have a cold effect on me? I don't think I do.
Those frost things feel like the most dangerous thing, right?
Hey, we found him. He's like, "I knew you'd find me soon enough." He says, "Are you all right? What happened?" Now you can see the mysterious figure in the background. How do I interact? Whoop. I don't think I can. He says, "I'm sorry, in my haste, I didn't realize that I was alone until it's too late. What matters is that you're okay." Yeah, what happens if you get close to it? Does it disappear?
Yeah.
Yeah. There it goes. It went away. So, yeah. Because I was clicked on it, and when you got close, it...
I'm going to say, I'm curious where this goes.
Okay. I'll check this box of rewards.
It doesn't seem to go anywhere.
No? Okay. All right, so that is the end of that. He says, "I'll be relieved to see the sun shining once again." Indeed. All right, we're in Ekkad Andastel now. Here between, by Lothlorien. So, Okay, so he says, I'm sorry, my desperation for answers clouded my judgment. The Brunnen must have left the Black Rider severely weakened. Even if the last horse had survived, it would not have been able to carry its owner far. Perhaps they have vanished from the north, like Elladan said. I do not wish to dwell on what happened in the Redhorn Pass, but the cloak figure eluded you too, didn't it? I suppose we'll never know who or what it truly was. To tell the truth, I am in no rush to find out myself. All right, it's chapter 4. I've been dwelling on the news that Gwaihir brought us. What's that? 7 days. Oh, 7 days. Okay, I'll check that in a second. He says, yes, I've been dwelling on the news that Gwaihir brought us about the wolf presence in the Anduin, along the Anduin, the river. The Galadrim here have assured me that no wolves have been spotted, but that may change the deeper we venture into the woods. Don't let your guard down on our way to Karis Galadrin. I fear more trouble may be lurking just around the corner. All right. Why is there a ring over there? Oh, are these repeatables?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are rested, I have a request of you.
I'm pretty kindred with them, I think. So, don't need to worry about that for me. Okay, keep your wits about you. The twist in this one is reinforcements. Monsters in the mission will attempt to summon allies to the fight, which could actually be a problem for us with our increased difficulty. Oh, Affodil was pointing out that the legendary items reward track, where you get stuff for getting a legendary item experience, the time remaining on that is 7 days and 21 hours. So if you were trying to get to a particular place on that reward track, your time is running short. All right, so Elrohir says, did you hear that? He exchanges a look with you and Elladan. Excuse me. And then you hear growls coming from somewhere up ahead. He narrows his eyes. Approach quietly. But we're going to run through the water. Why not? Splish, splash, splish, splash. Oh, a bear cub. No giveaway today, asks Twitch Shooter. Yeah, before it says we're still recovering from Friday, from the excitement of Friday. So yes, we, oh dear, hang on, 2 boxes, I gotta get out of there. We just upped our difficulty level, so I gotta kind of pay attention. We have one more shirt though. We do have one more shirt. So, we decided that we'll go ahead and give it away on next Tuesday, during my stream, when before the shadow comes out. So we'll give it out in honor of the thing coming out. All right, so Elladan says, it seems Elrohir's suspicions about the wolves were correct. His gaze falls upon the bear cub, which stares at your group warily. This little one must have gotten separated from its mother. Shall we help return to her? He smiles gently. We're going to follow the bear cub. Okay. Follow, 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 follow. It's already leaving. I suppose it is tired of us standing around. If the cub fled from its mother, she must also have been in danger. I hope we are not too late to help her. But anybody who donates 2 extra life, you still are able to, what's wrong? You're able to get in on the goodies and stuff that Cord is offering through the community loot list. So make sure you take advantage of that. Uh-oh. What is the dealio? There we go. And there's links in the chat about that. Wow, all sorts of stuff keeps coming. That's so funny. After this, I'll be like, I'll go back to Deadly plus 0 and be like, whew.
Only forward.
I'll be like, man, this is so much easier on just Deadly 0. I might maybe leave it at Deadly 1.
Deadly 6.
No, not now. Oh, bear cub's running away. So yeah, keep an eye on that LI track, which means though that like in 8 days, then we'll have a new LI reward track. So that'll be exciting. I wonder what'll be on that one. Because this one had... Well, I'll show you when we're not in combat. There's too much going on here. I could die again. We don't want that. We don't want me to lose all my morale. My poor character. No morale. Alright, this cub must have better hearing than we do, because it keeps stopping right before the attacks. He says, it's fortunate, because I doubt that was the last of them. Ooh, yeah, there we go. There's some more. Oh no, I just lost the thing. Dang it. Because I'm on the self-heals, my rain of arrows, I need the power, the focus for it, and I'm not getting it. I'm going to switch back to precision stance. I missed the focus. So. Oop, there's a box. If you stop getting hit, says the minstrel, you could go off of self-heals. Uh-huh. I'm unlikely to stop getting hit. I'm the, like, DPS in this group. They're gonna come and attack me. Choices were made. And then you pull as well. That's funny. You pull the aggro. Go ahead. Let's let them nom on you. I'll just hit them from far away. That'll work great. Yes, thanks, Moobot. Only once? Are we sure? So far? Okay. So far. Are you attempting something? Oh, there it goes. Oh my gosh, another one. Oof.
Open to the possibilities.
Oh, open to the possibilities. Hey, I see something happening in the background there. I wonder if that's where we're going. Oh, bear cub's heading that way. Dum dum dum. Stuff going on. There's the mother. Her injuries are not serious. But what is a warg doing here? Are the wolves following it? These are ill omens. We'll follow your lead. And then they run in. Cracks me up. Close enough. Oh my goodness, 2 boxes in a row. Whatever. The reason why it would do that is because since there's 2 of us, each one of us might have triggered one. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching them taking my health down. It's okay, Elladan came and saved me, I guess. Alright. And the warg was prattling on. Alright, but we got the bear cub and the bear mother back together. So the warg mentions a dwarf ruin to the north in the Vales of Anduin. Its history is not a happy one, but my brother and I have our own reasons for loathing the place. We found our mother there, tortured by the orcs. Even after our father healed her wounds, she could no longer bear to continue living in Middle-earth. The hurt had gone too deep, so she sailed to the west to the Undying Lands. The thought often crosses my mind, in the end, will I sail and reunite with her, or shall I remain in Middle-earth and never see her again? Forgive me, I did not mean to discuss such dark matters. If that warg came from the Vales, then his brethren may be hunting the northern reaches of Lothlorien. We ought to continue toward Caras Galadhon, and once we gather more information there, we can decide on what to do next. And for a moment, the twins linger to watch the bear cub and its mother. Then Elrohir breaks the silence first. Shall we? So we're up here, yep, in the top of the Lothlorien area. Oh, mission reward. We should grab that before we leave, because if you leave, you kind of leave that behind, which would be sad. So, oh, that's funny. You got 4 and 2 and 2 tokens, and I got 4. It's really random. Onwards then, he says. Okay. So, let's finish the current one. Sometimes it takes a minute to kind of transition between the mission you were just in and the mission quest giver. So sometimes you have to kind of wait a second for it to, for you to be able to interact. All right, he says, it is just as we feared. Scouts have reported many sightings of wargs close to the northern border. Bam, bam, bam. All right, chapter 5. We're right at the doorstep of Caras Galadhon, but how can we stand idly by while wargs sow chaos in the Golden Wood? You have been a stalwart companion. Not once have you faltered in aiding us, and for that we are grateful. Though you have honored your promise to us and our father, we have one last thing to ask of you. Come with us to the north. Whatever the wargs have planned, we'll put an end to it together. Sure. Let's do it. So, quickly, we must strike out for Talon Reveal. And this twist is shared corruption. Monsters in this mission will apply a corruption buff to nearby allies. So now we are up in this top area. And they are over here talking to this injured sentinel, which is what our quest says. Talk to the injured sentinel. Okay. He says, these are strange tidings. The guard squints at you for a moment before sighing in defeat, because, you know, we're not, like, from here. He says, I do not recognize your kind. But if the sons of Elrond trust you, then I shall put aside my misgivings. The wargs come down from the Vales. Came down. Our scouts have reported that one, gray and larger than the others, commands the movements of the rest. Several wargs ambushed us here before escaping to the southeast. 2 scouts followed the fleeing wargs and have not reported back. I fear they may have been overwhelmed. So we are to go find the scouts and help them if we can. All right, he says we shall keep an eye out for them. Let us do. Off we go. So not once have we come across servants of the enemy in our travels, yet the moment we reach our destination... Don't worry, we'll find answers and prepare for what's to come. I hear a cat lurking in the background. He's eating. Okay, we have heard something. Here they come. Here they are. Oh. Hey, I wasn't talking to you. Alright. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, we're going further into the woods. One of the scouts up ahead. Oh, one of the scouts up ahead in combat. We should help out. And so we have traveled, we're still up here in kind of the northern reaches of Lothlorien. Oop, there's a box. Wow. There's a flight overhead. There was something about how there's some training exercises going on. And there might be more of that sort of thing happening. Yeah. We live in the Netherlands, so we're in Europe where, you know, things are afoot. Oh, watch your health, honey. Nice. Sorry, sorry, I cannot keep fighting, but please find my partner. We were separated in the skirmish. She pursued the wargs south. Okay. All right, he says, no worries, we'll work on it. You take care. All right, off we go. Oh, I see some wargs. Oh, goodness. There we go. Even the wildlife is in danger. Yes, from these big blasts of fire. Doesn't seem to hurt the foliage, so I think we're okay.
It's a spiritual damage.
It's spiritual damage. Oh, there's a bunch of wargs and stuff. Yeesh. Alright, see what we can do here. Nice. I do like it when my first hit does take 50% of their damage, you know, the morale, it's nice. Makes finishing them off generally a little easier. Well, if they'd quit putting red boxes on me, I wouldn't be standing in them. I'll see what I can do. Healer says quit standing in the red boxes. Okay. See what I can do. Oh, hey, that's the one that heals me, right? No, which is the one that heals me? I have a shot that heals me as well. What was the blood arrow? Yeah, restores hunter morale. Excellent. Just have to remember to use that. That's why I have it on there twice. All right, be careful. The Grey Warg stalks Karen Brehil with its brethren. He says, we shall cleanse the foul presence from the place. All right. So yeah, so we're kind of skirting this outer ridge here. This must be the leader, a formidable beast, but mortal all the same. No more shall the wargs harm Lothlorien and its inhabitants. We'll follow your lead. But if I get close enough, they just run in. Well, I was trying to do my invisible thing. Oh, that's right. I think we had to talk to these guys. What's next? Our meal offers itself up so willingly. The golden wood shall never fall to Sauron. That's right. Sauron, we answer to none other than somebody, chieftain of the wargs, and it is his pack that will send you to your doom. Okay. So they're not even involved with Sauron as far as they know. They're just here to sow chaos. Well, they're here to do what their pack leader tells them to do. But, you know, it's possible their pack leader is in with Sauron and they don't know it. I stepped out of the box that time. Alright, Elladan, what'd you know? The warg mentioned a name, Ranulur. I cannot imagine the chieftain of wargs would allow another to command the pack unless he did not come with them. Now that we know that they do not fight for Sauron, they are not a sizable threat. The remaining wargs will either slink back into the Vales or fall to the Galadrim. Lorien is safe. Perhaps Shothr Munzu will not be such a dark place one day. But for now, we must turn our gaze elsewhere. We'll let the scouts and at the Talon Reveal know that the wargs are no more, and then return to Caris Galadin. Okay. So, we are in Caris Galadin, and this is Galadriel's garden. So pretty fancy schmancy. Can aspire to have a garden like that, maybe. All right. So Elrohir says, Rose and Bloom, there you are. Our grandmother's garden is a sight to behold, is it not? I can forgive you for wanting to linger and take it all in, though I must caution you against wandering too far. We have given our word that you are trustworthy. However, the Galadrim do not look favorably upon strangers, as I'm sure you realized. We must part ways to meet with our grandmother soon, but for now, shall we walk in together? He smiles. Alas, we are nearing journey's end. Our travels were fraught with danger, but a small part of me is sad that it's over. Chin up. I'm sure she would do us the honor of adventuring with us in the future. It says we couldn't have made it this far without you. We are in your debt. Yay! Grandfather! Elladan, Elrohir, she is waiting for you. Then this is farewell for now. Okay. He says, welcome to Caris Galadin. May we speak? Well, I gotta wave goodbye to the boys. Bye! Yeah, what's up, Celeborn? He says, you have my gratitude for keeping my grandson safe. I was told that the 3 or 4 of you passed through the Red Horn Gate to enter Lorien. Well, the crossing must have been difficult for them. Their mother has long since sailed west, but our grief remains. The details of what transpired during your travels elude me. What news from Imladris? Did you discover anything? As you recount every step of your travels, Lord Celeborn listens attentively. When you finish describing your encounters with the wargs from Shothr Munzu, his expression darkens. I'm sure my grandsons told you of our family's connection to that cursed place. This Ranulur may not be a threat at the moment, but I believe his tale is not finished. Should he decide to endanger Lorien again, he will not find mercy. Please, wait here. I believe my wife would like to speak with you once her business with our grandsons is done. So, time passes. Corn accumulates. It's a game called Zolkin that we play with, where the passage of time puts corn on a location on the board. Anyway, all right, so she says, I would have a word with you. She says, while my grandson's reason for being here are grave, I'm glad to see them again. May our next meeting be under happier circumstances. Well, they do meet up at the wedding, so, you know, there's that. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I don't know where that came from. Although I did toss and turn a lot last night, so that could be where it's coming from. Anyway, she says, they came to me with heavy hearts after what happened on Caradhras. But do not fret, your presence steadied them. Such wounds may never heal completely, but they can be soothed. My mirror showed them visions of the past, moments that they hold dear. Sometimes it is a kindness to remember. As she speaks, she studies you with keen eyes that almost seem to pierce through you. The coming days will be dire ones for Middle-earth. I foresee that you have your own part to play in the shaping of its fate. Indeed, you have already taken your first steps. Our paths shall cross again. But do not let such thoughts occupy your mind for now. Find peace under the Melrin. Once you have rested and regained your strength, we will send you on your way. And how kind of her. She gives us a mission reward. Thanks. Thanks, Ladriel. She says, rest now. Rest now. And we're back to Elrond. Chapter 5. He says, I've been told your journey to Lorien was rather eventful. Still, you persisted and completed your task admirably. Though travel and adventure have separated my sons from me before, every time they venture forth, my heart grows uneasy. For what parent can stand not knowing where their children are? But this time I was comforted knowing that you were by their side. So thank you. They have found a true friend in you. So we'll finish it, get some legendary item experience, and tokens of further adventure. So now his ring is all with the hourglass in it. We can't do this again for another 8 hours and 8 minutes. So I'm curious. So I think these tokens that we're getting, these tokens of further adventure, are the same ones that you get for the Bingo Boffin mission. So yeah, we can redeem them. Let's go take a look. We're going to go outside. I'll show you where that vendor is if you are not familiar with where to find that. So we're in Lothlorien. We're in Elrond's library as usual. Not Lothlorien, sorry. Last Homely House, Rivendell. The other elf place. I kind of missed. I know, right? I was trying to jump on the top of that thing. Yes, Egarthur says yes. The Bilbo and the Elladan and Elrohir missions award the same currency. So, yeah. I'm getting peckish. Okay. So, yes. Kellebeer here. So this is where you would find the further adventures of Bilbo Baggins. He's just standing out here, and the guy is Kellebeer. Kellebeer is out here in a gazebo outside the last homely house. And those missions also are numbered. They had it differently, but then they came back in and numbered them to make it sort properly, because 0, 1, and 1, 0 were, I think, causing troubles. Yeah. Yes, that's right. They didn't have the leading zeros before, so it went like 1, 1, 0, 2, something like that. It was silly. Anyway, so here's your barter stuff. Oh, I have 131. I thought I probably would have more than that by now, but it's totally fine.
We max out data bots and stuff.
Oh, is there a max currency on this? Let's see, what is this one called? What are these called again? Is it called Further Adventures, or? Yeah, tokens of further. Oh, there is a cap of 500 there. Oh, so yeah, that makes sense that we came and spent it down at one point. So let's see. The writer's block is a shield, which is funny. So check that out. Isn't that funny? It's got like an ink pen on it. Yeah, that's cute. And then there's some cosmetic, or there's some cosmetic pets. You can get an adventurous visitor, which we actually have one. So basically it's Bilbo kind of standing around reading a book, and like he kind of walks around a little bit, and you can get, and he's like one of the, we could just run over to the thing and show you.
And you can get 2 more.
2 more what?
It's on the second page.
Oh, right, there's more. Then there's some housing items. You can get this gazebo. Yeah, there's a bunch of elvish kind of stuff. And then, you can get a determined visitor. That is Elladan. And you could get a diligent visitor, and that's Elrohir. So you could get the twins. It says he's taken a break from his various scouting missions to come and visit. I think, yeah. So that's kind of funny that you can, have them at your house also. You can get a pocket item. There's some various jewelry items and stuff. Hey, Ponton, how are you doing tonight? We're taking a look at the mission rewards for doing the further adventures. So you can get some various things like, the pocket items. Those are fingers, so jewelry, rings. So that's another way to get buffs and stuff for your character. Oh yeah, so I was going to pop over to the kin house. So I'll be right back. That's kin member. That's kin house. Because we have one of the Bilbos at our house, and I can show it to you all. So yeah, they're so the Elrohir there you see there, and the Elladan that you see there, they are these property guards. So like we have Marigold out here, keeping an eye on things with the with our angry little old man Willow. So she's good at these adventurous sorts of things. But then yeah, inside we have like a little study area. Hang on, it's still loading. There's a lot of stuff in our house. Oh, speaking of, if you do the extra life thing and take some of the rewards, one of the options is, I believe, sleeping gray cat, maybe? So I think you can get one of those. There's a sleeping cat, like the regular one from the store. And then, yeah, there's the sleeping gray cat over there. So we have a few cats at our kin house. But yeah, so anyway, if you go into the study, where you can work on all sorts of things, look who's visiting us. We have an adventurous visitor standing over here by the bookshelf. And then he also has his recommended reading over on the side. If you are looking for something to read, he has recommendations. But if you click on him, then you get a little ally, and he runs around with you. See, but he doesn't have his book. He's just kind of chilling out. Oops, doing his own thing. But I can run around with him, so if I leave, he walks. But if you go too far, he'll run to catch up. So you can, so here we go. Now you can only have one of these property guards at a time, one of these allies. So even though I could get a Marigold, if I click on her, nothing happens because I already have an ally. And it only works in the neighborhoods. You can't take them with you, unfortunately, because I think that'd be cool. Run around Bree with Bilbo following me along and stuff. But yeah, no, it only works in the neighborhood. So if I wanted to, I could click on Bilbo here, and then I can go and interact with him, pet menu, and I can dismiss, and then he goes away. And then I can click on Marigold, and I can get a Marigold. See, and then she follows me around. So in the game, it is currently morning, headed towards noon. If it was nighttime in the game, my ally would be carrying a torch, which is really cool because it gives, like that, like Affodil's doing. So you can, so I was doing this the other day. I was over at a Hobbit thing over on Lorelin, and it turned into night, and so people were holding torches. But then, pretty much the event ended, but I was kind of working through some, I picked up some new music files, and I was kind of trying to listen to them because I was curious if I liked them or not, and sorting them. And so I would just, be playing something and then go to the next one, and playing something, go to the next one. And the person who was there had a Theodore Grouse property guard, and he brought one out. So Theodore had his little torch because it was nighttime in the game. So I was like, oh yeah, that's really handy. So yes, as Affodil has been showing, if you go and click on these various things that we have in the yard, the critters come out. So let's see, there's the, Spot came out of the Shrew Mouse house. There's Honey, that's Honey Badger, because Honey Badger don't care. There's Nanu, comes out of Nanu's hiding place. There's our little ghosty spirit, came out of the decorative gourds. So these decorative gourds you can get during the festival that just ended, the Harvest Festival, Harvest Math. And then, when did I get the True Mouse house? Oh, I think that was during like an anniversary gift or something. And then this thing is so cool. It's so cute. Let's watch that. It breathes fire. So cute. And that came from, what did we say? I think it's Anniversary Festival that you can purchase these now. So it looks very very similar to Dragox Fireplace, but not exactly. Dragox Fireplace that you get in the instance is more squared off, and these are more hobbity rounded. Hello, give me tomatoes. How are you today? We're checking out fun little yard items. So yeah, so there's 2 different versions of this that you can get now for festival tokens, and I'm pretty sure it was the Anniversary Festival. So there's this freestanding one that you can see. It's a furniture or yard item. Your marigold standing on top. So, you can walk all the way around it. But then there's also, my marigold's on top. Well, there's a whole collection of marigolds happening. That's so weird. So, okay, so the reason why I think that's funny that they jumped up there on their own is, this is a funny story. So we were playing on the Bombadil server, which was a like a tournament server. This was like 2 years ago in the summertime that LOTRO was doing. And it was only like a 1-month server, and you were doing deeds, and because deeds would get you honor, and honor points is what got you on the leaderboard. It was a thing. You joined a faction. You either joined Elrohir's faction or Elladan's faction, and you could then attack people who were on the other faction. So it was a little bit of PvP going on, but there were safe zones and places where you couldn't attack each other, like inside Bree. But like if you were out at Adzo's camp, that was not a safe zone. You could attack each other at Adzo's camp. So there was a lot of like attacking that happened at Adzo's camp. So what we discovered though is the neighborhoods were not a safe zone, so you could attack each other in the neighborhoods. Okay, so at the end of the tournament, we had people on both sides in our kinship and whatnot, and we had a big party to celebrate the end of the whole thing. And so we had some of the property guards, like there was a marigold, and there was also a Theodore grouse. And so like we would jump up on top of things to try and get our little property guard person to follow. And then if you jumped off, like they kind of got stuck there. So that was kind of funny, and we've had a good time with that. But funny thing is we found out that if Affodil was on one group and I was on the other, I could actually attack Affodil, and then my property guard would start to attack Affodil also, because they had something in their programming that they are a guard. So we started kind of like making it so that we were attacking each other, but then we'd like pause so it would start that aggro. And so what would end up happening is like the marigolds were attacking each other. So it was a hoot. Like it was such a weird bug that we encountered, and it was so much fun. Look, I can stand on top of here too. There's some good invisible stuff going on. That's fun. Yeah, check it out. I'm just hovering in midair. She's a witch. That's fun. Oh, anyway, so I was going to show you. So this is the outdoor version, or the furniture version. And like I said, you can walk all the way around it. But there's also a wall version, like an actual fireplace. And we have that one inside. And so that one actually does take a wall hook. You have to stick it on a wall. Although, I mean, you could pull it out and it could just be freestanding, of course. But that would kind of defeat a little bit of the purpose of it being a wall item. And there you go. So that's the wall version. So, it does, you can have it stick out a little bit. You can pull it out. And then, so it's got that kind of rounded look also. And it does the same thing. So you click on that little guy. Oops, what have I done here? There we go. And then he sits up and he breathes fire at you. Isn't that so cute? It's so adorable. All All right, so yes, so I wanted to show you the Bilbo that we have. That's the property guard from the Further Adventures that you can get. So you can see we've kind of gone with more the Hobbity style. You know, we've got Marigold, we've got Bilbo. I mean, we're in the Shire. Like, this is our kin house is in the Shire, so it kind of, you know, it kind of flows that way. We don't have a Theodore Gorse here, but we do have all 4, pardon me, of the kin houses in the neighborhood. So, I mean, I could potentially put one out somewhere else. Although, a funny thing is, okay, so one of our kin houses, we have all of our crafting stations there. So that yard is full. Like, we can't get anything else. What's that housing item? It says, give me the tomatoes. The fire pit or a different one? Can you describe the housing item of which you are inquiring? Yeah, this is the fire pit of the Dragon's Hoard. And like I said, I'm pretty sure you can get that from the Anniversary Festival. That one is the Fire Pit of the Dragon's Hoard. This one is what the names are back up. Nanu's Hiding Place, which is a very rare drop out of Turtle, I think, right? Out of Fillical. Yeah. So that's what those two are. So those are fun. We could go, well, so now I don't want to do a turtle while I'm on deadly difficulty +3.
Well, difficulty won't apply in Turtle.
Oh, that's true.
It is a level 60 12 person.
Oh, it's a level 60. Yeah, we're level 65. I mean, it's a 12-person instance, so 2 people at 65 versus 12 at 60. But yeah, so that one's a rare drop, and luckily one of our kinmates got it, so that was pretty awesome. Okay, so let's see. What else should we do? Where do you get the fire pit? So if you're ever curious about where you can get a particular housing item, there's this really cool website called Deco de Miu. And can you pop a link? Perfect. Thank you so much. I have their mug. It's pretty cool. So, but yes, the link in the chat there. Deco de Miu is a website where they just specialize in LOTRO housing items. So you can search by festival, you can just search by name. So like if you're like, hey, Fire Pit of the Dragon's Hoard, how do I get that? You just type that in and it'll show you. And then the cool thing is what they do, Yao, who runs the website, goes and when new housing items are coming out, he goes and he takes pictures of them like on the test server and he takes pictures of or screenshots from different angles and stuff, so you can really get a good idea of what it looks like, and that kind of thing. So hello, Amarantha. Well, good evening and nice t-shirt, you say. Very familiar. Excellent. Yes, I love my Before the Shadow t-shirt. So were you one of our winners? I forgot. No? Oh no, not yet. We're gonna do one more t-shirt. We do have one more t-shirt. We're gonna do it next Tuesday though, because we'll do it during Before the Shadow coming out. So that's kind of exciting. Oh, cool. B4 has posted the link from the D&Co website of the Fire Pit of the Dragon's Hoard. So we got like 15 minutes or so. So do we want to go run some dwarfy missions? Okay, so we could go take the table. Here, follow me. I'll take us to the table. I still have my outfit a la the Harvest Halloweeny festival. I'm thinking at some point, cool. Anyway, I'm thinking I might switch it out to be something. Well, the Yule Festival doesn't start for what? Another... Oh, right. You got one in Cologne. Right. Yes. We, earlier on in the stream, I mentioned that we went to Cologne and met the SSG folks. And there were a number of people. And it's so funny because I remember like faces and I don't have usernames necessarily combined with the faces of the people that we met. Yes. I mean, Okay, you say not a winner, got it in Cologne earlier this year, but I would say all of us who went to Cologne kind of were winners because we got the t-shirts, like, and we got to meet the folks and like, you know. So inherently we are winners because that was really cool. I'm definitely hoping they were able to do it again next year. I understand though, I mean, like, it's not cheap, right, to fly, I mean, even one or two people over, let alone like a whole group of people like they did. So I can understand them hesitating on knowing whether they'll be able to do that again or not. Levitating Gravity says, hello, where's that cool orange lit hobbit hole like item in your garden that looked super awesome? We were just talking about that right before you came on, I think. So there we go. Thank you. B4 has posted the link to it. There's two versions. There's the fire pit version, which is the freestanding. It can be a furniture or a yard item. And then there's also the fireplace, I think is how they determine between the two. And that one is a wall item. And so obviously it goes inside your house on a wall. But they both have that rounded hobbit hole look to them. And the little dragon, the little Dragach like dragon inside of it, so cute. And when you click on him, he raises his head and he breathes fire. It's so cute, super cute. Yeah. So when the stream is done, just go back and check that part out from like 10 minutes ago, maybe 15, because we were clicking on it and watching him. He's so cute. Oh, which one do we want to do? I wasn't.
We have done all of them.
We've
How about from the top?
done all of them. So starting with Horin here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do, so there's a couple of people right here who are giving missions. They got that ring with a little map through it again. So we'll take this first one, a new clutch. So I have a new mission for you. My scouts have returned. There's a base of attack against us, but there's also some cold drakes. And there's cold drake eggs. So go destroy the eggs. Okie dokie. Let's see, and the twist in this one is reinforcements. So again, we have boosted ourselves up. So I think Affodil's running at Deadly +6. I'm running at Deadly +3. Normally we run at Deadly +0. So so this is a little more chaotic than than our normal run-throughs. Like, oh my gosh, it's a lot more complicated. Okay, ready? Well, I'm more prone to death. Let's put it that way, of my own. Because they hit harder and perhaps have more mitigations against me hitting them. But if we don't take on a whole group at once, it goes better. Hey, sweetie. There goes the kitty cat. Oh, got one. Okay. Hello, Cold Drake. Affodil's what? What'd you say? A whole group at once? Okay, let's do it. No. All right, we have to destroy the eggs. Destroying eggs. Okay. Oh yeah, so I saw, what was it? Maria said, yeah, the drive was sure cheaper. Yeah, exactly. The drive was way cheaper than having to fly, right? Yeah, internationally like they did. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I grew up in the U.S., right? So I'm used to the distances in the U.S. and, you know, people driving everywhere and all that business. But I am definitely appreciative of not doing that anymore and being able to take, like, the train and, you know, take the bus and all the public transit that's available here. And also how distances aren't really that far. Like, Cologne was what? Just a couple hours, really, for us. That was neat. By train and bus and whatnot. We're actually taking a trip to the U.S. this fall. And it's going to be so weird because I'm so used to the roads as they are here, you know, which are narrow, really, comparatively. It's so funny because every so often I'll see like a video of, I don't know, somebody driving in the U.S. and I was like, wow, those roads are huge. They're so wide. And the cars just like zoom by so fast. Like every street is a highway, it seems like, you know. I'm so used to that not being the way now. That's going to be really weird. But good news, I don't plan to do any driving while we're there. Oops. I was in a box. So at least I won't be causing any fast driving to be happening. Oops. Oh, thought you were looking at something else. I shot somebody else. Yeah. Whoopsie. Oh, I did it again. This one was a mistake. I didn't mean to shoot this one at all, actually. I mean, eventually we had to anyway, but okay. I wanted to go and destroy these eggs. Where in the U.S.? We'll be going to Michigan and Colorado and Ohio. So, kind of a inland tour. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Whoa! Stand right on top of me. They're so pretty. I am hesitant to destroy them because they're so pretty. But I know it's part of the thing. We got to. So, another one. Oh yeah, and levitating gravity. We were talking about using the D&Co website. So DecoWU, their website is great for housing items. If you're like want to know more about it, or what does it look like, or how do you get it, the website is fantastic with lots of information. So, okay, that will show the Frost Horde. Let us report your success to Horin. Off we go. So it takes us back to this war room in Anakurfu. And then we go back to the original person we talked to, and we turn it back in, just like we did with Elrohir and Elladan. So it says, is it done? Wonderful. The Frost Horde cannot bolster their numbers. Our victory is assured. So they give us some Gablaka war marks, some modes of enchantment, reputation with them, and legendary item experience. So if I wanted to spend those tokens, this quartermaster over here is who would take those tokens from me. So the funny thing is there's cosmetic pets, which I really wanted for a long time. You have to have a certain reputation level in order to be allowed to purchase them. So I finally got to that reputation level and I purchased them. So now I have all the pets from this guy. And let's see, mounts, it was the same thing. It was a certain amount of reps. So I got that. And then everything else, there's some housing decorations, but they're very dwarf oriented. So they're not necessarily my jam. I mean, the picnic blankets, maybe not so bad. You can come up, kitty kitty. Somebody in our kinship got the dragon skull, and it's like a huge yard item, so it's fantastic. You can get barricade parts, so funny. Now the roast dinner plate, I could see putting that out, maybe. Some banners. I haven't really gotten into the whole banner thing. I know there's a lot of banners in the game, but it just doesn't do my thing. So anyway, and then there's cosmetic gear and cosmetic weapons. So at this point, I don't think there's anything else I want to buy. So it's just like piling up these tokens. And then the quartermaster.
You are ill-equipped to venture into Khazad-dûm.
I could spend motes of enchantment, which I don't mind. I'm not using them. If I wanted to get any like gear, so like I'm a hunter, so medium, so I could get like, you know, a coffer of traveler's agility based jewelry. I don't know if it'd be any better than what I have or not though. So that's one of those where I'd probably go to the wiki and see what they know about that sort of thing. Well, actually, I think we're kind of getting close to 2 hours here. So maybe one more and then I might wrap it up. Does that sound good for you? I'm asking before because he streams right after me and he does development on plugins. So different plugins that you use in LOTRO. So for example, here, let me just pull that out. So there's a nice little list of some of the plugins that are available. Like there's a huge list of plugins that are available, but these are some of the ones that are popular with some of us on the stream team. So let's see. I like deed tracker. That's this little darling right here. So it tracks every single deed in the game, which you also get from the deed log. However, and the deed tracker is laid out just like the deed log in terms of where to find things. So like class race epic tab, class race epic tab. It shows you your progress. So like I can look at my class quests or class deeds and I'm like, oh, okay, I have 39 out of 43 of them complete. What do I not have complete? And I can just look through, and this is 130 level. This is 130 level, and promotion points, that's probably going to go away possibly with the new update. So
The deeds probably can still be there, it just won't give you the trait point.
so they're rearranging how things are, the trait points are done. Oh, let's do 3. Okay. Here, let me pay attention to this. Okay, let's do 3 so we can do the wrapper, because we have a mission wrapper and it'll... I need 4. I'm at 11 out of 15.
What? For the other wrapper.
Oh, a different wrapper.
But yeah, that one too.
All the wrappers. Okay, we're going to do stuff until we finish our wrappers. Not the 45s, but the other ones. Yeah, the funny thing is the wrappers, these mission wrappers, if you're in the middle of one, when before the shadow comes out, it will reset those, is my understanding. So, what else? So I won't get the whatever bonuses that you get from wrappers. Actually, now I'm kind of curious. Mission... No, not that one.
Yeah.
Motes of enchantment, virtue XP, enhancement runes, and the mission reward, bonus rewards. Similar thing there. Similar thing there. I'm okay with that in the sense that I'm not feeling like I'm suffering for motes or any of that. But, you know, I mean, we're so close, so might as well at least finish the wrappers we can. But the 45s, like, I'm okay if we don't finish the 45s.
Alright, this mission is much more noticeable on Deadly +6.
Somebody is noticing the new deadly uptick that we did. That's funny. Oh, okay. I'll do these orcish provisions. We are destroying provisions. Seems like you're more likely to trigger boxes. I don't know if that's... It just...
It's a potential reaction to being hit, and then I do a lot more AoEs than
I suppose.
so, 5% chance on hit to trigger a box in the
Whoop.
algorithm.
So we upped our difficulty for those who weren't here before. So I went from deadly +0 to deadly +3. And Affodil decided to go to +6. Oops, I didn't realize there was somebody in here still. I thought we finished them all. So things are taking longer, and we are taking more damage. For sure. All right. Yep, that's all that's in that room, it looks like. Oh, we're doing that guy first. Okay. Yeah, so Affodil's health is going down regularly.
This is like before the shadow was for the original players.
So Affodil is, before he's over there wondering, like, if this is what, yeah, not before the shadow, you mean, like, Shadows of Angmar.
Original players.
The original, yeah. If this was more like the difficulty level that it used to be on when the game first started. Because it does seem like, so, you know, the tastes and the interests in what people want out of their gaming, and in this case MMO gaming, because that's what we're playing, kind of changes over time, right? The appetites. And so it seems like, you know, 10, 15, 18 years ago, people really liked, you know, a hard grind, like just bang your head against things. Like that was part of it. And also there was definitely a oh, oops, another black arrow. There was a drive in the game to try and force people to group up in order to be able to complete things. Okay, we're done here. What?
We're not quite done.
Oh, we gotta defeat the big guy. That's not him. There's a big guy nearby. We don't need this guy. I mean, we have to because he'll keep hitting us, but the big guy's over here.
I'm not,
What?
I'm not ready.
Okay. Are you attacking somebody else?
No, heal me.
Oh, okay.
You looked like you were running towards the bus.
No, I'm trying to get myself situated so I can. He's in line of sight.
Okay.
All right.
I am not ready.
You're not ready. Oh, okay.
Now,
You are now ready. Okay.
now am I ready?
All right. I'm gonna start him off with a nice little heart seeker at him. Oh, you're in 2 boxes. Oh, and he's throwing stuff at me. I'm almost dead. Thank you. This is where I spam quick shot. Phew. That was close. A dwarf scout has arrived. Where? Because I don't want to run into anybody. Oh, good. There you are. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult with that. Things take longer. All right. Wait, what? Oh, I mentioned this earlier. Sometimes you, when you come out of the mission, it takes it a minute to kind of like, it's like waking up. You know what I mean? How you're kind of like half asleep and half awake. You're not fully awake. That's how it feels like when you come out of missions. Like you're still kind of half in the mission, but half not in the mission. So sometimes you kind of have to wait until you're fully awake and you can finish a mission, etc. So, all right, here we go. Get me in there. Gundabad. Oh, anyway, so yeah, so B4 will be streaming after me, and he'll be doing plugins. So yeah, he actually did the deed tracker plugin. Oops. And so I love how it shows me like my percentages, and hidden deeds are also in here. So like there's some emote deeds for insulted and juggler. Excuse me, which would be cheer. Wait, or is it laugh? Oh, I think it's laugh and rude. Anyway. So once you have had those emoted at you 100 times, no more than 5 times per day, then you you earn those deeds, and you get, some of them come with an emote, like you can juggle or do like fire breathing. It's cute. Okay, I'm gonna go invisible. I'll shoot this guy. All right, here we go. It's funny because these are part of like the Gundabad set. We are in technically areas that are well over our level, and so it keeps popping up and saying, you know, you'll be removed. You're in a restricted area, but we're not. I mean, we're not going to be removed. It's part of the mission. It's just funny that it's like it recognizes that we are well below this level. There's another one over here. Ah, there's stairs. I am very proficient at finding places that are not stairs. Yes. Oh, nice. That was like 2/3 of its health. That was handy. And that was like 1/3 of mine, or half. I guess it's fair. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. All right. Well, the challenge of the higher level is interesting, but I think I'll go back down because I don't think that it taking longer is like adding necessarily to my experience. Maybe I'll go to +1. Take a little extra challenge. Because getting hit harder has been kind of amusing. Because usually we hardly lose any health. We're pretty good at working together on that. Although that's a double box. Let me get out of there. Let me get out of there. Yeah, exactly. Agartha says, "Excuse me, I have permission to be here." in the mission, that is. Not in the area, but in the mission. Excuse me if you don't... Somebody's coming after us. Man, I think he saw us or something. He's got our number. I saw the dot just like come flying across the radar. Like, okay, I got you. Whoa. That was exciting. So, we're supposed to defend Skarhald from the Gundabad raiding party. This guy is tough. Well, it does go a little faster when there's two of us here. Holy moly, there's more. No, I'm losing health. They're red rings. There you go. Just kite them around, it'll be great. Goodness. Look, you. There we go. Do they just keep coming? This little hobbit running in circles. Whee! It's funny. Help, help, I'm being impressed. Oh dear, your health is almost... Oh, your health is done. Okay. Uh-oh, my health is done too. Alright. How are you not dead if you're level 65 in a 130 area? So we're doing a mission, and missions are scaled to your level. So we're level 65, so these are level 65. But the area that we're in, yes, is way the heck out here. That's just where the setting happens to be in this case. So, well, yeah, as Agartha says, it's instanced, but somehow it doesn't know it. Yeah, there's like a miscommunication in like the fact that it's in an instance, so it's outside of the regular world, but it's set in the regular world space, and that regular world space is 130 or whatever it is, 140. So it's like, you're not that level. Get out of here. Are we gonna keep trying this? Okay, we'll try it one more time. Oh yeah, actually, B4 points out it's really funny that, yeah, we did Storm on Methedras, which takes place in Dunland. It's an instance, but it's set in Dunland, and so we have access. We don't have access to Dunland yet on this server, but we can obviously do instances and missions that are set in some of these other places. So. So it's just really funny because, yeah, we were able to make progress on our Dunlending Slayer deed. Even before we set foot in Dunland. Like in landscape Dunland. Like, oh yeah, I'm unsurprised by this. This mission just keeps going. I'm not certain that we're not supposed to go and just do something else and get past these guys. Okay. I am firing at things. I think your deadly +6 is causing us trouble. Awesome. All right, now I'm going to run in circles. Oh, they caught me. Interesting. He's just standing there. Egg Arthur says, at level 26, you made progress on a Lothlorien Slayer deed because of a bug in a mission. How funny. So yeah, they're just standing over here waiting for us, basically.
Yeah.
There's a group of 4 of them there.
Let's see if I can get close enough towards you.
Okay. Nope, they see you.
We should run back in.
Okay. Give me 2 minutes to take the sides first and then take out the boss. How can you tell which one are the sides and which one's the boss in that group?
Don't have a name.
There's none of them are named.
One of them is named.
Oh, one of them is. Oh, okay. Oh, that could be it.
Martian is named.
Just when they kept coming, I was like, uh-oh. Does this mean they just don't ever stop coming?
No. They stopped coming. We have the boss here.
All right. I'm going to have to stop by your house and get some more foods. I'm almost out. We use foods to help us out with, like, you know, all the stuff. This one gives me plus vitality. This one gives me resistance and wound resistance. This one gives me regen in combat and out of combat, which is
Let me actually put on
useful.
my healing outfit.
Okay. Okay.
If they're gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat. Okay,
Do you mind getting their attention? I can do my invisible thing.
that's fine.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
They have attention.
I thought we might. Thank you. All right. So we'll work on everybody but the big guy. Well, they're all terrible. Do you need me to run?
No, I haven't done this stuff yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I got 2 of them on me. Can't get the 3rd and the 4th yet. Let me see if I can get their attention. Oh, too bad. I was trying to. Well, I mean, now I've got their attention. This isn't gonna go well. Fire and arrow. Yes, I have a few of those as a hunter. Yes, deadly +6 is very noticeable during skirmishes. All right. Well, I think I'm good to come back to this later.
I'll just take us to make a living for, or to, what, Prancing Pony.
We have to exit the mission.
No, I'll just go back, fix that, and then come back in and
Oh, I see.
just for the contrast.
Okay. Okay, I see what we're doing. All right. I think he doesn't want to stream yet.
Wherever.
All right, we're gonna go fix our deadly +6 business.
You can just stay there if you want.
Well, I'm traveling already. I'm on my way. So what we did earlier on the stream is we went up to our handy dandy level guy and Berthadan and changed it from deadly, just straight up deadly +0. I went to +3. She went to +6. I'll just go back to regular deadly. So if you do that, remember you have to turn it into him for the to take effect. How do we get back into the instance?
Go back to Kinship Woman's house, take the map.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that deadly +6 is very noticeable during skirmishes. That was something. All right, so here we go.
Yeah, that plus the delving is going to be wild.
Yeah, the delving system is going to be so. They said on a previous stream that the delving system is going to be set at server cap level, So it is coming to Treebeard, and it will be at level 65. So that's a really interesting thing. So we'll get to play with the delving system here on Treebeard. So that's going to be, yeah, like I'm kind of curious about that. See, there it goes. You have entered a restricted area. Like, no, I promise, it's fine. Oh, did you already run ahead? Okay. I was catching up on the thuds. Okay. Let's see if we can take these guys out this time. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoomity, zoom, zoom. All right. Wow, you...
Oh, there must be some reflect in there.
And the funny thing is it worked.
That shield of flame is...
So the dwarf scout is here though to take us out of the instance.
One of those things that double reflect on it.
Oh, something had double reflect and took him out.
That should be itself.
Well, take yourself out. Yes, reflect is like, yeah, DPS is worst. Yeah, it takes you take yourself out. Are you on your way back? Okay, cool. I'm just using quick shot on this guy. There we go. Well, the dwarf, whatever you did, it worked because the dwarf scout arrived. And we're done. And out. Oh dear. Very silly. All right. So I think I'm going to call that good for me. Oh, yeah. Reflected. There was some reflection going on there. All right, we'll come back and finish up our wrappers later. We got 2 more to go, but yeah. Oh, Egg Arthur says, in the last bull roar, the delving was full of reflect. Oh, joy. Yeah, it's so funny, like trying to figure out what I can do, when I'm... I will stand here and stare at the map with these guys. Yeah, what can I do when I'm trying to not do reflect? Like, to not hit myself back with it. So, I think melee isn't too bad. But auto attack is bad. Like, I end up taking myself out even with auto attack sometimes. And yeah, it's wild. It's really, really wild. Okay, so, yes, coming up next will be before I think he's gone to go and prepare and stuff. Give me tomatoes. The Bull Roar server is not open right now, but there is a forum post where they have the information. Let me see if I can grab the linkity link. I think it's just, yeah, okay, hang on a second. Yeah. So there you go. So follow those links. So basically what they do is they'll have a forum post and it has the information on how to get into Bull Roarer when it's open. But basically what you do is you know how you have like LOTRO on your computer, assuming unless you're using Steam, but like I have LOTRO on my computer, and so I just click the thing icon on my computer, and it loads LOTRO, and then I can choose which server and which character within that server that I want to play. So Bull Roar, has its own launcher. So you will need to download that launcher. And so that's something you can do ahead of time, even when Bull Roar is not open, is to go ahead and download that launcher because it'll do all the updates and everything. So sometimes it could take a few minutes. So that's worth going ahead and doing ahead of time. Excuse me. And then when Bull Roar is open, it's usually open, when they do open, they'll usually be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So basically you've got like 48 hours-ish, right, to get in there. Maybe a third, maybe all Wednesday, all Thursday, all Friday. I know it closes like Friday afternoon, I think, for us. Anyway, I'm marking it out. Doesn't matter. It's open for just a couple of days. And you'll want to pop in, and that's when you can pop in there and kind of test things out and take a look around. And the entire server generally is like open, like it's everything that exists. So if you were like, man, I was curious what it would be like to, I don't know, own a mead house. You can go. There's a place in the Bull Roar server. It's called the Eyes and Guard Tavern. So get it, Eyes and Guard, but Eyes and Guard. So it's the Eyes and Guard Tavern, and there's tons of NPCs in there. And what they do is they can level you up, or give you mithril coins, and give you LOTRO points, and and give you in-game money, whatever. It's like all this stuff, because it's the Bull Roar server is basically just a big playground, a big sandbox to go out and build and do whatever you want. So they have ways to give you all those things that you might need in order to go out and play in that sandbox. Now, there's no way to transfer that stuff off of there, so it's just play money, and then once the game gets put back on the shelf, you have to put the money back in there. You don't get to spend it over here in the live servers and the legendary servers and whatnot. So, but it is nice because there was one time when the Rohan housing was coming out. And we were very interested in the Rohan housing, but they were also doing other things at the same time, some big patches and big things, whatever. And may have actually been like War of the Three Peaks or something. And so people are in there like testing out all this different stuff, and we're like, let's go to the neighborhood and take pictures. So that's what we did. It was pretty funny. So are you feeling good? Okay, awesome. Well, then I'm going to wrap it up. So again, I have the Extra Life widgets are still going, and if you feel inspired to donate, you still have the ability to get in on the goodies that the community loot list that Cord posts, and in fact, we'll make sure that we get those links up during B4's stream as well. And then next Tuesday during my stream, we'll go ahead and give away our final Before the Shadow t-shirt. Yeah, honey, what's I think I know what it is. EL, right? Yep, I just do that, right? The question was, how do I donate? All right, and then I think before we'll get Moobot to do the other one. So basically that link, the first link will take you to the team, and you could see all the team members if you want to like pick a specific person. And then that second link that just came out has the link to the person listed there. That is actually Sans Array's information. We met my goal, so I feel like we don't need to, you don't have to donate under my name anymore unless you really want to. But it'd be neat to help them reach their goal. This is their first time, I believe, participating, and so it'd be kind of fun to to get them to their goal without them knowing. So and then once you have donated, make sure you go to. Is the link on? You know what? Maybe I should add the link to my Extra Life profile. The link to the survey. There it is. Thank you. So yes, so those are the rewards. That's the information about what the rewards are. And then the second link is the Survey Monkey, where you tell Cord what rewards you want. So all sorts of good stuff. Yay. All right, everybody, have a fantastic week. Thanks for coming along. And next week, hopefully, we'll be in that Before the Shadow area. So we'll be hopefully jamming over here in Eriador, down in this area, doing some Before the Shadow content. One hopes. All right. Well, have a great week, everybody. Before is coming up next, talking about plugins and doing some plugin development on stream. So have a fantastic rest of your week. We'll see you next week. And in the meantime, remember to stay in touch with that Hobbit side of your heart. All right. Take care of each other. Bye, everybody.